It's back. Alright, let me kill this.
Still filming here.
Cheers from Japan. This is Tokyo Toy Bastard here. I'm here with my friend Kurodon and my friend Oli from Oli Imported. And if you follow our Kentucky Fried Gaijin channel, you may have seen our little reaction video to some Real Ghostbusters shit. At least his reaction. I don't know if it was much of a reaction.
Hey,
but anyway, some of you might have come over here from that. If you haven't checked out our other channel, Kentucky Fried Gaijin, it features us usually all together. This is probably the first video on my channel that you've seen with all these guys. Don here has collaborated with me a few times on a couple videos. And yeah, we're gonna crack open some Yoni Yona.
Yep. Oh shit!
This is one of my favorite beers. Yoni Yona beer. All up in here.
Fucking queer.
Never.
Don't make me spit this out all over the equipment.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what she said.
So, actually, I think it's the #1 most viewed video on my channel is the original Kenner Ghostbusters promo for the original Ghostbusters line. So I figured it would be, worthwhile to actually have a video of me talking about them. They were for some of the very first toys that I ever owned and have good memories of. I even sent a video to Toy Poloi, our friend Dave from Toy Poloi, and he featured a video of me talking about my first Peter Venkman toy. So we're going to kind of just chug along, introduce some of the toys, talk about them, see what this guy thinks, because he's never seen any of these before. Don's probably got some memories of these. I just,
And some of mine you actually have. Like, I sold you a few.
Yeah, you did. The carded ones. Yeah, so I actually have a dozen or so carded examples of various toys of the Real Ghostbusters Kenner line, which you are seeing now on the camera. But we're not going to take any of those down in any detail. We're just going to go through some of the basic, the real meat and potatoes of the line. Just talk about them a little bit, share some love. Sound good to you? Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so...
we have 3 of them.
I'm going to start off with the original 3. And I say 3 because Ghostbusters was originally just 3 characters. Winston joined later. And I do have a Winston over here to share. But here we have Peter Venkman, Egon Spangler.
Spangler was his last name?
Yeah.
Spangler.
Egon Spangler.
Sprinkle
Spangler.
Spangles. Did you ever have that shit?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Sprinkle Spangles. It's a
drug?
cereal that was around in the early 90s for about 2 or 3 years. And I'm still obsessed with it to this day.
Sprinkles, Spangles.
You need to put that up there. Like, just
Okay,
put a
Sprinkles
Spangles.
Spangles.
Look it up, and if you can find it, I
Egon
will
Spanglers, Sprinkled Spangles. And this is Ray Stantz.
That's his porn name, Sprinkle
Yeah.
Spangles.
So,
He dips his balls in glitter.
so all of the characters are different from their movie counterparts. They had to be changed. But, you've got Bill Murray, you've got Dan Aykroyd, and you've got Harold Ramis here in their cartoon forms. Harold Ramis had the biggest makeover. He looks nothing. He looks nothing like
I know
Harold
who
Ramis.
Harold Ramis is.
Yeah, I'm Harold
Jesus
Ramis.
Christ.
So, and they've got the proton packs. One thing that I do not own that they're somewhat hard to come by. Actually, the original line, the very first wave, had the tethers in the back coming from the very bottom of the pack, and everything that came out from that first wave come out from the center in the back. So that's one thing I don't own, unless some of the ones up here I have. No, they all have the center back. Anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway, these are the first 3 lines. I'm going to use Peter as an example. Peter's one of my favorite action figures of all time. I used to carry this guy around in my pocket to like soccer practice and to school and everything. Obviously, I broke this pretty fast. And basically, you pop these off, and I'm not going to break it. I'm not going to break it. If you saw our Kentucky Fried Gaijin video about He-Man, I broke a very expensive. All right, I'm not going to take it off. I'm just going to. This is how it works. These break easily. That's why these are fairly expensive when they're loose. These snap. Definitely don't want to snap any of that shit. But basically, it's the wand in the back here. You spin it around, and it makes it look like it's. That's an action feature. That's all they do. They've got their basic Kenner articulation, just like Star Wars figures. This was Kenner's big hit after they stopped doing, or after they stopped doing Star Wars.
Yeah, it would have been, what, 2-3 years after?
Yeah.
Like because of
Yeah,
Return of the Jedi, like, they made up to, like, 84 or
Yeah, and then
85.
they did Power of Force line right after Return of the Jedi came out, and they did all the other characters that they hadn't done before.
Yeah.
And,
What about like Ewoks, droids?
Yeah, those all came out around the same time or right after the last.
Yeah, so that was a gap, and
like
those are some expensive figures.
Oh yeah, the Ewoks and droids figures by Kenner are fucking insane.
Yeah.
What are we talking?
Like
Hundreds?
20, I think the Boba Fett from droids alone is 25.
Yeah, and the Boba Fett is the exact same Boba Fett they released for the other Star Wars movies. Just got a different card.
Ishi's got one.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're talking about Ghostbusters.
It's really cartoony looking too.
Anyway, I love this guy, and so yeah, this was the very first type of figures they released for Ghostbusters, and then before I get into other things that came out directly after. This is one of the last lines they did. So it's the same figure, but you'll notice that the colors are different. He's got a purple pack. And these are color change figures. If you put them in cold water, they look like they've been slimed. And this is one of the very last lines. So if you want to start...
figures.
Yeah, they're Ghostbusters Bukake. If you want to start collecting Ghostbusters, these are one of the best ones to start with because they're pretty easy to find, even carded, and they're not that expensive. And they're cool colors. You know, they got that early 90s vibe. And yeah, there you go. These were called Slimed Heroes. Slimed Heroes.
I bet you did.
I am sure there are some porns.
Oh, and before we move away from the original ones with the proton packs, I took a Janine from one of the other later lines. This is the best representation of Janine that they did. And they never made one of her with a proton pack. They always made her with this other stupid shit. So I gave her one of the Slimed Heroes proton packs. And I think she looks badass. Oh, hey, she's already got it on her arm. Try that action right there. Yeah. I want to bust you. Wait, I need a New Jersey accent.
Where'd you pack your cat?
LaGuardia.
LaGuardia.
You go on LaGuardia, right?
A giant turtle in a trench coat.
And then they I don't know if
I gave you one of the, like, I sold you the Janine for this series.
Yeah, Janine's up there. Screaming Heroes.
Screaming
I've got her.
Heroes, yeah.
You saw her in the flyby video earlier. So Screaming Heroes. This is one of the later, or one of the ones after the first series, and they all have these dumb expressions on their faces. And you plugged the ghost into their stomach, wound them up. This one's kind of broken, and you would just kind of let them go.
Jesus.
And
Yeah, that's a busted tooth right there.
yeah, it's a bit busted, but this is one my son plays with.
Fingers out.
Yeah,
Ready
just an
to jam you
example.
in the ass.
Just an example of it. And we could probably put up a picture of this, but the Janine version looks like a blow-up doll or a prostitute or something.
Go on.
She's right there, yeah, with the.
I put this
Oh my
in-
god, yeah.
Look up. She's literally like this.
Did they all have the same, like, ghost, or like this thing?
No, I think they're all different. That one does. Janine does look the same.
It is
doesn't
the same. Yeah, it is the same.
This could be mismatched. I don't really remember. This was not one of my. This was one of my least favorite of the line.
Yeah, that's the only of the Screaming
Yeah.
Heroes you have carded anyways.
And then another line they did, and they kept doing more and more like kind of gags with them. Actually, this one, might as well talk about this while we're talking about this at the same time. Two birds with one stone. Here I have the Ecto one, the glorious Ecto one. These are fairly expensive now, especially in complete condition, and these are amazing. It's one of my favorite toys ever, and it's got all the original stickers and stuff. The guy I bought this from sent it to me wrapped in just bubble wrap in an envelope to Japan.
From the States?
From the States, and it survived somehow. But yeah, I'm very thankful to have it. But one thing you'll notice is it's got the seat at the top. This seat was only actually in the original pilot promo for the animated series. They have Ray Stantz sitting in this chair on top of the car. It's never shown again. But that was what they used to tool the figures or the vehicle with. So they included it on top. And so you can only see that in the promo pilot, which you can also watch on my channel. And yeah, so here we have This was Super Fright Features. There were Fright Features and Super Fright Features. And I have a Fright Features up there of Peter. And he squeezes his arm. And his eyeballs pop out and his hair flies off. And I believe this was a Super Fright feature. And they all looked like they had like space gear on. But if you pull his pack on the back, his face shoots up out of the top of his helmet and his mouth gouges open. Is that a right word?
Gouges? No.
His mouth.
Gouges? Like,
No, that's not the right word. We've been drinking. Gapes. I knew it was a G and an A word. His mouth gapes open.
Gaze open.
He gaze open to receive that succulent ghost cock.
Jesus Christ.
This is Tokyo Toy Bastard Channel. What else were you expecting? And then inside you can see I've got Ray Stance and
Winston.
usually Winston's driving, but I thought Ray should be driving. Winston's just chilling. Alright, so that's the car. And here in Tokyo, it's really hard to come by these toys. I think Don and I have found a few while we've been here.
We found, like, the ones that I gave to you,
Yeah.
I found from
Those
a
are Mandarake, weren't they?
No? From a museum, like an
Oh!
art gallery
The art gallery.
curator.
Gallery Target, yeah.
Yeah, in Harajuku, and we told him we like toys, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, he collects the Hulk."
Yeah.
And he called, and one day I went in to pick something up, and he's like, "Hey, I've got something for you."
Yeah.
And he gave me what he gave like you. He had a couple of those little red Gundam-esque figures, and he's like, "Oh, I've got some like other random figures you want to check out."
I remember he showed me those, and I was like, "Oh, you got those? Cool."
Yeah, so I ended up buying from him just a ton of Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, and all this random stuff that he got in like these huge boxes.
Yeah, they were like in totes or something.
Yeah. And he told me he used to go on trips to the States to buy, just to buy vintage. Yeah, at the time they weren't even that vintage.
He had a pretty cool Hulk collection.
Yeah, his Hulk collection was good. He still wants my bootleg Mexican Hulk that I have sitting at work. But yeah.
The Gallery Target. They're the ones that hosted Sucklord. And if you also watched my channel...
No, you would have seen that.
You would have seen the Sucklord video, which Don helped me do everything. So
yeah, I like that transition. Yeah,
he helped me do everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that's right. And we did. I think we found a couple we found at Mandarake. But anyway, they don't pop up often here.
No.
There's a shop called 2000 Toys in Koenji that has some. They're always loose. I think you probably traded some carded ones. The only ones that he has are probably ones that you traded to.
Yeah.
He had some loose ones.
I traded two on bubble cards that were ripped off, and I resealed them.
But he does have two, and these are probably hard to get over here because they're massive. He had two fucking Ghostbusters firehouses. And he had one complete in box, which was a little out of my price range. And then he had one that was in really good condition, loose. And it only had half of the containment unit. And he actually needed another half. He needed that half of the containment unit for another one that he had. So I gave it to him for free. And I figured I'd pick up another one. If any of you guys that follow me here, if you have a complete containment unit, it's basically just two red giant chunks of plastic. If you have one, and you'd like to send it to me, please send me a mail, because I probably will just forget and never pick it up, because there's not much space in here for it, honestly. Even if you park the Ecto 1 in here, if you try to park it in here, I'm going to try to do this, it's like the whole half of the...
Well, another thing with the containment unit, the containment unit was often used for the slime, yeah? Like, there was a thing, like, people would fill with slime.
I don't know about that. Actually,
the containment unit you'd usually put here in the middle.
Yeah,
and you let the slime fill through the top.
You see the top, it's got this grid at the top. You put slime in it, and it drips down throughout the containment.
I remember my mom throwing mine away. Like, when I had that, like, because mine got chunky. Then I fixed the top.
It got chunky.
Yeah, it gets really chunky. But, yeah, she ended up throwing away my bottom bit, and I remember that distinctly.
I remember asking my mom to go out and buy another Peter because I broke it or lost it.
You broke your Peter?
I broke my Peter. Alright, so one of the action figure features I played with this the most with, I'm going to get this up before. Alright, I'm going to do this off camera, so I'm just going to talk. Is the iconic fire pole. Am I doing this the right way?
Push it.
Yeah, you're right. shows how
I
long I
don't
played.
even have the toy. I fucking know. It sticks on the top. It sticks on the top level.
Yeah, it's on the top. It's got a little. I know that much. Jesus, but I can't get Peter to stick on it.
You can't get.
I'm gonna break another Peter.
They can't get his Peter to stick.
You gotta get it to stick.
2 kids can't get his Peter to stick still.
All right, so it's got a switch at the top that locks it, and you let it go.
You went the wrong way.
No, I had it the right way.
Is that how you broke your Peter?
You gotta push it out.
No. There's a little lip at the end that catches it here.
No. Yeah, you gotta push the button out. I think you pushed it.
Are you still talking about the toy?
Here we go.
in.
Come on, Peter. Here we go. Whee!
Oh, he's falling. Oh,
He's fine. These are easy to get. Anyway, yeah. As a kid, I played with this a lot. My parents threw it out at a garage sale or something, and I was pissed. So I had to pay a lot of money to get one here. And but now I have one. So hey, yay for childhood. So yeah, that's most of the figures that I have loose here. One thing I haven't touched upon is the ghosts. So they did sell ghosts separately, like carded ghosts that had like the toilet ghosts and like the granny that turns into a monster and like all kinds of weird.
Quarterback.
Like, the quarterback that's like back.
That
His back opens up into like a giant
Alligator.
like fucking monster mouth. They were
Yeah, that's
fucked
pretty
up.
cool.
Sounds
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it's
dope.
pretty cool.
I still love the
That's
toilet.
one of the
Fearsome
ones.
Flush
I'm
is
pretty
still my
sure they
favorite
still
one.
have that at 2000 toys.
Toilet.
Yeah. The garbage man
Yes,
that like
toilets,
there's a
fearsome.
garbage man that has like a garbage can and you flip it up onto his head and then like a bug head pops out and he's got wings that stick out the side. It's fucking gross.
What the fuck?
Anyway, but if you bought the figures themselves,
Why didn't we watch that?
and if you're a fan of, I'm a big fan of Keshi, and if you were fans of like Monster in My Pocket and stuff, like these are like, at least in America, the predecessor to all that stuff. They came with like these little rubbery plastic, translucent ghosts that had various functions. For example, this one, you could put these go over their head.
Put it on Peter.
He's got a condom now. Peter has a condom on his head. Ghost condom.
Going down.
I have several different versions of this one.
Safety.
And you could like stick different things in their mouth. God damn. You can like pick them up and things, but I've got a glow in the dark one and a red one.
Pick them up. Put them
This
in
one came with the Ecto 1. He's dusty as shit and he's kind of sticky. And then there's this one,
It's not
purple.
getting any better.
All right.
And the color change ones actually came with ghosts like this that have holes in their mouths. Jesus Christ. And they squirt shit out.
Oh.
What's that?
Oh.
Okay.
What?
Well, anyway, these don't go together. I just like the way that they look. There are a lot of like pink and purple and green, bright neon green things in this line that I love. And so yeah, one thing they never made, they made 2 different Slimer toys, one of which I have carded, but they never made them in scale with the toys. And it wasn't until later that Mattel produced like Migos style, like old school Migos style Ghostbusters, and they released a Janine that came with a Slimer that was way too small for her, but it's like in perfect scale for the real Ghostbusters. So I use it with display to display my real Ghostbusters. So thanks to Mattel for that. And lastly, well, actually not lastly, 2 lastlies. This is the only surviving piece from my vintage collection that I still own. I've recovered all this since I moved here. My grandma and my aunt both saved one of these for me, so I have a couple of these. One I gave to my kids. But this is a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man vintage pencil sharpener.
Oh shit.
Yeah, from
Functional.
I believe this was right after the movie. This was 84, 85, something like that. Anyway, I love this thing. But so the only other vintage line, somewhat vintage, was by a Spanish, I believe, company called Yolanda.
Sounds.
Are those ones you got? Or you got the? No,
I got
them. We saw the full set.
Yeah, they had a full set. I didn't get the Slimer. I did get these at Drawd.
Oh, you got?
Yeah, I got these at a shop that sells like really obscure and bootleg toys called Drawd. And but yeah, the only one I'm missing, Ray. He's really hard to find. Like even the people that are hardcore collectors of this kind of stuff, Ray's like the most difficult to find. I don't have Slimer. I can get him easy, but I do have the No Ghost logo. He's like in 3 dimensions. You can see his ghost butt. But yeah, I love these little things here. Egon, they actually painted correctly. They gave him the pink collar. But yeah, their proton packs look like shit though. But I love these little toys. I have Beavis and Butthead Yolanda toys. I have an Akira Yolanda toy. They're all amazing. Yeah, Yolanda. Now
sounds like someone giving you your burgers.
Yolanda. Now I'm thinking of Yolandi.
Yolandi
from
Diane
Word. And now I'm thinking of
Ninja.
Ninja has that song where he quotes Ghostbusters like 3 times in one verse or something like that. All right, this is not going to turn into a Diane's Word video. Anyway, so yeah, that's some shit I have. Ghostbusters, some reflection about those toys I used to play with, and then I still have a passion for my kids I let my kids play with the Firehouse. They love playing with it, yeah, this is cool old stuff. And I assume that when the new movie comes out, if it's gonna do a lot of throwbacks, a lot of the shit's gonna shoot up in price. So I figured I'd talk about it now. I'm glad that I have it now. So it's probably one of those things that Don's probably gonna jump on at some point, maybe.
Yeah, probably again.
Yeah. Oliver won't jump on it until after this. I'm gonna show Oliver the original movie, and then Oliver's gonna cream his pants, and then we're gonna walk away awkwardly.
Yeah. I'll change it.
Yeah.
Gotta do it right.
Oh, I farted and you burped over top of it.
It's great to be in the middle of that fucking
sandwich. That disgusting sandwich.
All right, guys. Well,
that's what we call a Kentucky fried brisket.
No, that was a double down right there.
A double down. All right, well, that's a double down. A Kentucky fried double down.
I don't think my fart was audible. All right. Well, anyway, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for watching.
Just kick it.
You can't. He's kicking vape smoke.
He kicks smoke. Are you Chuck Norris? You're just gonna fucking.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm signing out. Yeah. Make sure you check out also our other Real Ghostbusters related video on Kentucky Fried Gaijin, and subscribe if you haven't. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't.
Subscribe to Kentucky Fried Gaijin if you haven't.
Buy Yona Yona. It's really good.
Yona Yona is really good. Also, I do occasional discussions on this asshole's channel.
That's me.
Yeah. His channel is sexypervert.com.
That's me. Look at that face. Look at that face. Oli Imported, you fucking cunt.
Sexy Oli Imported?
Same.
Yeah. No, it's Oli Imported on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's linked in this thing. And, yeah. And, yeah.
It's got a lot of toys.
Yeah. Peace. Fuck yeah!